Hello everyone, it's Linda from Linda's Ease in Arlington Heights, and I am here for coffee, as you can kind of see on my shirt. And this is kind of the fun jacket that I did that you probably have seen in some of my other videos. This was done on a foff. The shirt that I'm working with on the back, that was done on a baby lock. So, and in front of me, I have a Bernina. So we have a whole family of machines here today. I have the Peacock, which is absolutely scrumptious. Some of you have it. There are, I think, 3 or 2 left living in our environment here that will probably be gone this weekend because we have a big event going on. I don't know, Nick, if you can get up close to show it. I'm doing a real quick demo today because I want to give you a couple of little tidbits of things that I think will really be fun for you, but simple about thread. Sewing thread and quilting thread. So let's look at this beautiful design first before I get started. You can see I have it on a straight stitch. I have the 1/4 inch foot on, and if you can look underneath here a little bit, you can kind of see it's a little tiny round hole because this is a straight stitch plate. I don't care what machine I am sewing on. When I'm piecing like this, I'm going to piece 2 strips together. When I piece, I always use a straight stitch plate. And I am one of the few, well, there's quite a few of us, I shouldn't say that I do not use this dual feed. And can they see that in the back? This is a wonderful vehicle for other types of fabric. I do know some of you do quilt with it, but piece with it, but I do not. I find that it works beautiful when you're using the right thread. So before I get into the right thread for piecing and sewing, and this is really a mess. I know some of your sewing rooms probably look a little bit like that. I want to tell you who won these prizes. This is really fun. Rather than take the time to do that whole spinning, he did spin it and he took it all and then he wrote down the names, and I'm going to give you a list of the people. Let's see. Let's start with the middle one. Gail Leeds, 847-309. Oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Gail Leeds, you won it. I guess we'll be calling you. And this is like a $65 gift. Joanne Lightfoot, how exciting. I know Joanne is a wonderful quilter, and her husband's a doctor, and I think he'll be thrilled that you've got a new project going on. Joanne Witt, another wonderful customer. That's fabulous that you won this too. We have some others, don't we? Where'd that box go? Oh, there's a basket down here. Okay. And we have, let's see. Oh, look at all this. There's the calendar. I love these little tissues, by the way. They are so fun. And you know my favorite tape measure, and that is by Sandy Sturt. And Sandy, you're also getting the Daily Bread. So that's about a $35 kit. And then Kathy Lifter, can't quite see, I think it's Lifter, 529. I know I'm not supposed to say the whole phone number. Okay, you got the Tula thread. So anyway, we don't have time to do it all right now, but because I have a couple of quick things that I want to show you about threads, and then I'm going to get into this chenille. I didn't mention last week about these boxes. Please don't forget about boxes. I hope everybody knows how hard it is to get things today. They're back ordered. Well, we just got a whole slug of these in, and boy, you should grab them. Nick was out helping me at my computer at my sewing studio this weekend, and he said, Nana, Linda, you should have a video in your sewing room. And I went, oh my gosh, they'd be screaming when they'd see the mess out there. But I actually do organize all my threads, and I have 2 big walls of thread, but I put them in plastic boxes because they stay better. I can turn them over and they don't flip. When you put them in this, it really gets to be a mess. These plastic boxes are wonderful. So let me tell you why, when you are doing construction, that I strongly suggest you use what we call Metrazine 100-weight thread. You can see what I've got here. These are little, I have a little package of them, and I believe we saw them. They're really, I don't know if we still have them, but they're wonderful because if you have another machine with a smaller bobbin or even the Bernina size bobbin, you can put that on the little clip and then put it on the top of your thread, and it'll hold it. But I want you to look at what this is. This is something called a 100-weight thread. when I'm making this blouse, not the shirt. The shirt is a knit fabric, but I would use it if I weren't using my serger. Even if I am using my serger, you could use this. But I find when I'm doing regular garment construction, like a shirt like this, I always use 100-weight thread. And one of the most important things I want to get across to you that will really help you is you want the 100-weight thread in the bobbin, and you want the 100-weight thread on the top. Key, because this is the key. I want to show you what I'm going to do here. This is the bobbin that's kind of unwinding. Watch me, and Nikki, I don't know if you can get this close. Try and break this. You see what happens? Literally, I will get marks in my finger. I don't want you to do it too hard because you can actually cut your finger with it. It is so strong. It is a fully spun poly thread. And this fully spun poly thread is not going to break. So when you're moving your arms and going back and forward and stretching up, you will never have a break with this. This is why we love it so much. Now, when you're going to do piecing like I have on this beautiful machine, you want to use something called, and again, there's hundreds of threads out there. I'm just showing you my 2 favorite threads in the whole world that I use for all my projects when I'm doing this. It doesn't mean you can't use other threads, that there aren't other good threads. These are the 2 that I think are the best. This 100-weight is for sewing construction. This in the orange spool, and if you look on the bottom of the spool, you will see that it tells you what the number is. It's 50/2. That means 50 over 2. And there's a rule in thread of the higher the number, the finer the thread. So you would think 100, now again, this is construction, this is quilt, this is piecing. This is a 50, this is 100. You'd think, oh, well, gee, if the higher the number, the finer the thread, this would be finer. No, because this is a fully spun 3-ply, fully spun thread. This is a 2-ply thread, and it is a cotton thread that is finely tied, twisted together for piecing to let it lay nice and smooth in your seam. There's green, there's, see the green on the bottom here? See how this is orange? If you look in my box here, you'll see mostly orange. I'm not going to go into the others. I do have metrazine that I will use for piecing too, but I'm going to grab something for you real quick here. It's a piece of fabric that I think would maybe show you next to it, and I'm going to put a color on here, and hopefully you can see that real well, or maybe even in the camera. You can see this is an orange, and green. The green, if you look at the bottom of it, is going to give you another number, and I don't want you to use this for piecing. It's a 40 over 2, so what is it? The higher the number, the finer the thread. So that means this is a heavier thread than this orange. And why would that be important when you're piecing? Because you want that thread to lie right in the 1/4-inch seam of your quilt. I have a goal today to be done in 10 minutes. I've never had, so I'm going to bring a guest in. We will have a part 2? Okay, good. But I have a guest that, wait, can I just show them this real quick? I promise I'll still get done in the 10 minutes. Watch what happened there. Now let me do it again, and I wanted to do it on this black so they can see it. See how that breaks? And look at the fuzz and the junk on the end of this. You will never, ever have that happen with a 100-weight thread of metrazine. Never. Because it is a 100-weight fully spun thread. This is one of those junk threads that we find in some of the bins in those stores. I hate to use the name, but you probably all know what it is, so I'm not going to say it. But you can just pull it, and you can just see the threads that are, you probably in the camera can even see how fuzzy those threads are. You don't want those going in your beautiful machine. Okay, real quick, I have a guest with me. I grabbed her in. Jasmine is one of our wonderful young sewers that we just are so thrilled. We give her things, and this is something that one of our staff asked. I guess you did, Jasmine, right? Yeah, come on over here. This is Jasmine. And she asked about the chenille. And she says, what do you do with this? And I said, here, I'm going to give this to you and take it home and try it out and see what happens. And this was, what, 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
And so look what she came back with.
So
tell me quickly in 1 minute, how did you do it?
Okay, well, after reading the instructions, We decided, me and my mom, we decided just to kind of wing it. Because they have different suggestions of either washing it in your washer and dryer after you're done. We sewed it all out, and we sewed the blocks together. I put the back on. I actually have a Peacock Bernina
so cute
that I sewed it all together with.
Peacock, I do. Know. So it's done on this machine.
And then what I did was I laid it out, and I just used a spray bottle with water and surprisingly a little kitchen brush.
Did you use? Oh, you did use one of them.
We did use it was like a hand little brush we found at Woodman's.
Everybody looks at this and thinks, well, how did they do that?
Yes.
So she did a great job, didn't she? Should we have her back again? Yes. With some new project. When we get a new notion in there, I'll give it to Jasmine and ask her to come up with something fun, okay? Thank you, Jasmine.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone. I think I almost made it. Okay. We'll see you next week, and we'll have some more fun. It'll probably go a little longer next week. Enjoy.